Hello! We watched Downtime today.
We did.
Yeah, that was...
I think we've got some positives and negatives to say about it.
Yeah.
I think it was a fairly balanced viewing experience,
So,
which we'll be seeing throughout.
welcome
Welcome to the review of Death. My name's Billy, this is Matt. Hi, how you doing?
So, you hadn't seen this before.
Never seen it before. I'd seen clips of it before.
And I'd seen clips of it before. I'd never been able to stomach the whole thing.
Right.
But this was back in the days of early YouTube and terrible picture quality, so you can't blame me.
VHS rip.
Yeah, really bad quality.
Yeah.
So, you've done a lot of reading and research into this.
I have.
So, for the people at home who have absolutely no idea what Downtime is and what the hell we're talking about, explain to us, what is Downtime?
I've been using this rather brilliant book, which is called Downtime, The Lost Years of Doctor Who by Dylan Reese, which I read on holiday in Crete last year. Oh. While everybody else was reading their murder mystery novels they picked up at W.H. Smith before they got on the plane.
Right.
I was there with this, looking like quite the strange weirdo. It's brilliant though, it's fantastic, and it goes through all of the kind of fan films. Yeah, basically. It starts right at the beginning with like the Stranger series, and like goes right through to I don't know how far it goes through, but it basically works its way up until the end of BBV and the end of Reeltime and all the Mythmakers.
I just aware I've offended someone.
And it's got a "We Are Cult" quote on the back. Now, if you didn't know, Matt and I are going to be doing a live show on the 22nd of June.
We are.
That works itself in quite nicely. I was trying to work out how I could crowbar it in later.
Wow.
22nd of June, To the Moon in Bristol. That's Saturday, the 22nd of June at To the Moon in Bristol.
We're talking about season 26
of Doctor Who. Yeah. And it's going to be our first ever, and depending on how it goes, possibly last ever, review of Death live. Links for tickets I imagine will be in the description down below. Lots of other people going. Chris Chapman, who does the Doctor Who special features for the Blu-rays. Gary Russell, Stephen Volk.
Yes.
Rob Grant, co-creator of Red Dwarf. Yeah, so you should absolutely come along and join us. So for those of you who can't, we will be filming it and putting it on the channel, but it would be great to see as many people, because we're doing a live Q&A afterwards as well.
Don't confirm now, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. There we go.
I'm looking forward to the people in the audience going, yes, you sir, who are you?
That's exactly how it's going to go.
What gave you the right to start talking about Doctor Who?
Yeah, who are these people? So yeah, I mean, we already know a few of you are going to come down, and that's really awesome, so...
I don't know what's going on.
So, Downtime. Reading this book, really interesting. Really interesting little tidbits and anecdotes, really well researched, and it's something that, you know, I was always fascinated by fan films growing up. You know, I used to watch a hell of a lot of them on YouTube, even like Google Video when that existed.
Oh yeah, remember that?
I remember watching, I can't remember what it was called, there was a fan film with like Daleks and Cybermen squaring off, I think it was called Tyranny. Tyranny of the Daleks is quite a famous one.
It's Nick Scovell one.
Yeah, the Doctor's wearing this kind of Edwardian big sleeved dealio, I think, or
maybe that's not,
or maybe sunglasses and a cane. Or, I can't remember. But Tyranny of the Daleks was like a big one.
Right.
There was one, but I think the Cybermen, it was something of the Cybermen.
Is that the black and white one with the two Cybermen? There's a really good black and white one.
No, that looks interesting though.
Really good.
And yeah, loads of them out there.
Plastic Treachery.
Plastic Treachery, that shit one. Yeah. There's the, you know, still better than off episodes, which are no longer available for you on my channel, but you know, those existed.
You've taken them down?
Yeah, I've got everything off my channel now.
Why?
Start afresh by not uploading anything. There is one video up there.
Okay.
And it's a promotional video for our appearance at our Colts Bristol meet on the 22nd of June. I really want one of those New World t-shirts.
Yeah?
The wicked world is
should we both go in New World t-shirts for the
oh my god.
For the event?
We follow the ascendants
Yellow cats.
we share with our Johns.
Wait,
that's got to be one for Clayton to make.
Yeah.
Start doing spin-offs now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because this is... This will get copyright.
Who's going to complain about that? You know. So really interesting read, and I've got some tidbits of information for you, which I imagine I'm probably going to scatter through our chat about it, because we've both got some interesting things to say about Downtime.
Yeah. You probably more so than me.
Well,
because you've got all this good information. Mine is just my opinion, and my opinion is that.
Really?
I didn't really think it was all that.
I think I enjoyed it much more than you did.
You did, definitely.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of times during that when you were like, oh, this is alright,
this is alright. Well, okay, so let's go through the story.
I see. This is the problem already. What was it about? What was it about?
Okay, let's try and work it out. So Sarah goes back.
Victoria
goes back to Tibet.
See, this bothers me. This is my issue.
In the pre-credit sequence.
This is my issue with it. Why isn't she... Isn't she a bit like, oh, wow, that's a bit weird. Detson Monastery, the same monastery that was besieged by the Great Intelligence, and suddenly I'm hearing ghostly voices from my dead dad.
But she's been following them there. She's been following the voice to the monastery, I think.
Yeah, but surely when you see what the end result is, you'd be like, oh, suspicious.
Yeah, I know, but she's one of the she's cut from the same cloth the Doctor is. She's an adventurer and she's a go-getter, all that stuff. I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt.
All right,
desperately, you know.
Yeah.
So she steals a cane from a blind man,
yeah.
and then she encounters. I didn't put it together until later on, but her dad, which has been
a real dad.
A real dad. Yeah.
The actresses.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this was the trouble.
Yeah.
Part way through, I then realised, I was like, oh, of course, he's not.
Travers.
Travers is not a dad. It's the other bloke.
But I kept forgetting that.
Yeah.
All the way through, I was like, oh no, he got killed by the Daleks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. So she finds Professor Travers, who has been possessed by the Great Intelligence,
who may or may not be a zombie.
Yes. Well, I imagine he's just been encased in the web of the Great Intelligence for all that time. Has been like preserved.
Right.
Maybe brought back to life just because she was there. Maybe she needed to awaken him or something from the monastery.
Yeah.
Something like that. So then we flash forward.
Yes.
I don't know how many years it's supposed to have taken place, because she's obviously been imbued with the Great Intelligence's kind of...
Yeah, I mean, they've tried to make her quite young, haven't they, in that opening sequence?
In the opening sequence, yeah. So that could have even been, like, almost directly after the Doctor dropped her off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I think actually they did a good job of making her look...
She still looks great.
Yeah.
They all do.
Yeah.
Honestly, everybody in this was, looked great for the, mid-90s, low-budget fan film.
Yeah.
They've still got their youth to them, and they still act like their characters.
Yeah.
There were no disparities in people's characters throughout it. That Sarah wouldn't do that, or Brig wouldn't do that. So then we flash forward to present day at the time, so mid-90s, and the Brigadier has been on a 2-week bender, a three-day bender, and has started hallucinating because he's taken something in a club that he shouldn't have taken, and he says,
"What happens when you're old?"
I thought this was only going to last 5 minutes, and now he's lost his wife, he's lost his job, he's just got loaded guns around the house.
He's got 5 pints of milk.
5 pints of milk outside his house, and in it he sees this boy that I instantly assumed was Turlo. Because
he had the same school uniform.
He's in the same school uniform.
Yeah.
But it's actually this kid who he used to teach.
Yes.
Who's now gone to the New World University, which you just think the school from School Reunion, basically.
Yeah.
That kind of mesmeric influence. All the kids are plugged in, typing away on their computers.
Yes, it really is like that, isn't it?
Even with the green and yellow.
It really is like that. Obviously, School Reunion did it infinitely better. Before even the Brigadier stuff, Sarah Jane goes to the New World University.
Sarah Jane, working for Metropolitan Magazine.
Victoria Waterfield is like the dean.
Yeah.
But there is a mysterious chancellor. And she's got a little henchman
and a guy who keeps thumbing his hands.
Yeah, I think he's trying to be a bit of a packer, isn't he?
Yeah, but he hasn't got the charisma to pull it off. He's got zero character beside the fact he's suspicious
his hair's,
and wears beige.
He's totally in beige, his hair's receding, and he's got a beard belly.
Yeah.
He's not threatening.
Sarah suspects something's weird going on. And then we somehow transition from, quite a weird, cold, cagey interview between the two to Sarah suddenly being like, they're evil.
Yeah.
And then running out of the building.
Yeah, because the thing is with them is that there are no teachers, the syllabus is all on the computer, that's what's said.
On the mainframe.
On the mainframe, yeah. And somehow the Great Intelligence is in the computer, but it's also in Jack Watling's body.
Yeah, and it has a massive influence over the university, but apparently can't leave the space because it's tied to the cables and the wires of the mainframe and the internet, but it is able to affect certain electronic implements surrounding. And all the kids that go to the school are called Chilies.
Because why not? And they want the they're trying to find the locus.
Yeah.
Which we later find out is the Brigadier.
No.
Or is the little
It's
Yeti
the little
thing
Yeti.
that the Brigadier owned.
Yeah.
And that's because he was one of the last people surviving that imprisoned the Great Intelligence.
The London invasion.
Yeah.
And the locus has now fallen into the hands of the Brigadier's daughter, Kate Stewart.
Yes.
Who is living on a narrowboat moored up along the canal with her son, and the Brigadier doesn't know he has a grandson until the end of the film, which is quite a nice little scene.
There's a lot going on here.
But then on top of all of that, you've got a subplot with this vagrant played by Jeffrey Beavers and this young kid who's kind of broken from his programming and then ends up doubles crossing the brig at the end and becomes a Yeti.
Yeah.
And then he becomes this kind of... But actually he's still plugged into the mainframe at the school, and he's kind of transmitting himself as this ethereal ghost that only the Brigadier can communicate with.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the film, he's still inside the Yeti. Right.
And then Sarah Jane Smith pushes him
into a control panel. He bursts into flames. The thing we were going to mention about Sarah Jane is
she's banging.
You can count on two hands the number of scenes she's in.
What's the runtime?
I think it's about an hour, isn't it?
Oh
yeah, Sarah.
She was in it.
Yes.
69 minutes.
I
just over an hour.
Do you know what? I think given the runtime, and I mean, it helps that we were watching it and kind of taking the mick a little bit, but
yeah,
you know, and we weren't paying an awful lot of attention given how much we were talking through it.
Yeah.
But for the runtime, I think it went by quite quickly.
Yeah. You wouldn't want it to be any longer.
No, definitely not. But yeah, Sarah Jane just kind of randomly.
Like I would say she was probably in it for the 9 minutes of that 69 minutes.
Yeah,
probably.
Because at one point during the film we went,
where she got to?
We didn't even realise that she disappeared. We forgot she was in it.
She appeared in the car.
Yeah.
And she stuck in the traffic jam. We were like,
she's in a car and then she drives away, and then there's like a chunk of like 10 to 15 minutes of the film that she's not in, which is quite hefty considering the runtime of it.
Yeah.
And that's as we start getting into the second act of the film, and then she suddenly reappears again. It's like, oh, she's there, and then doesn't appear until the third act.
Yeah.
When she brings all the unit troops to the university, that obviously you'll get, battered over the head by and webbed up by Yetis.
Which there were three.
3 Yeti costumes, which is weird considering you only see one for the first half of the film.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, the other two arrived, we can use them now, almost,
Yeah, it's weird.
Should we talk about the Yetis? Use the Yeti costumes?
Yeah, they're alright, I guess.
Alright. There's not an awful lot to say.
It's not, yeah.
To be honest. Don't know why I brought it up.
I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think they really needed to be in it.
No, but you need like a marquee monster.
I think, that was it.
Selling it on the Great Intelligence.
Yeah.
It's like selling it on the... It's funny. Great Intelligence, Yetis, Nesting Consciousness, Autons.
Yeah.
They all kind of follow a similar line of, powerful spiritual being and the foot soldiers that are sold as the marketing point for the film. Because they're not strong enough, entities by themselves, literally. Should we talk about our cast? Because I think it was the strongest part of the entire film.
Yeah.
Nick Courtney.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
Yeah. Can't fault him.
No, not at all. Even, do you need money? That
was so funny.
That was brilliant.
Are you sure you don't want any money?
That, out of context, it'd be like an old man going up to a woman and be like, well, she looks alright. I'm sure I can't convince you to prostitute yourself.
We haven't really spoken about my favourite character in the entire thing, which of course was John Neeson as the DJ.
Yeah.
Who was absolutely fantastic. Doing his, greetings fellow kids thing with his Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
And,
waistcoat on and stuff.
As we said, radio DJs from that time haven't had the best time of it lately, with certain things coming out about them. So very brave of him to take on a part like that.
And I think it's pretty well directed for the most part.
Christopher Barry directed it.
Doing a good job.
But when I was watching it, I was thinking, like on the front cover of the DVD, it kind of says directed by Christopher Barry, you know, by Doctor Who legend Christopher Barry.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if you're going to sell it on that, there's got to be something in it that makes me think, oh, this was directed by Christopher Barry.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch a Tarantino film, it's like, oh, the dialogue, clearly influenced by him, the music, you know, the style of editing, clearly influenced by him. There's nothing in it that kind of makes me think, oh, that's classic Christopher Barry, that.
No.
You know, because it's quite a static story in many ways.
Yes.
There's not an awful lot of opportunities to kind of venture outside of just doing it cut by cut by cut.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few elements that I thought were really good, like that scene on the beach where he starts off the Brigadier starts off in his like normal costume, and then he puts his handprint on his hand down on the footprint of the Yeti, and then we pull back and
that was
his
very
uniform.
nicely done.
That was really cool. There were some moments where the brig was sort of tripping out, and the camera would sort of like twist.
Yeah.
You know, it was good. There were some good moments in it.
Yeah.
I think he did a good job. You know, again, budget was obviously very small, and he probably only had like one camera operator. You know.
On the subject of that, Matthew, I'm going to refer to my big black book of facts.
No.
How big do you think the budget was for this film?
I was thinking about this, so I reckon I'm going to say $5 grand.
£5,000?
Yeah.
Well, when I tell you that Ian Levine fronted a third of the budget for this, which was about 15 grand, I can then tell you that the full budget for Downtime was £56,000. And several years after the VHS was released, they had just about made half the money back from sales. And that was even after Downtime made it into a lot of major high street retail stores.
Did it really?
And as part of that pact, Reeltime, who produced this, as opposed to BBV producing Autumn 2, which we watched last time, they entered into a bit of a pact with BBV and said, if you repackage and redistribute your back catalogue, we'll also get you into stores as a kind of a two-way thing. Yeah. So a lot of them ended up in major high street stores.
Did they really?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know which high street stores. I don't know. It probably wasn't Woolies. Yeah. You know, it was probably Forbidden Planet, maybe HMV or
they
whatever.
definitely had BBV and Reeltime stuff in Forbidden Planet.
I remember seeing more BBV. I think because I remember seeing Mythmakers in Forbidden Planet.
Yeah.
When Forbidden Planet, for anyone who used to live in Bristol, when Forbidden Planet was around, where Cabot Circus is now in the centre.
It used to be good. That
was great.
That was such a good shot. It was like Aladdin's cave of stuff, and
because it was during that time before nerd culture became less niche. Yeah. You know, and became much more of a universal thing. Yeah. Where you could go in and you could find stuff like this on the shelf, and that's not really the case anymore. No. Because most of the shelves in Forbidden Planet, where it is now at the top of Park Street, are taken up by Funko Pop vinyls.
That's true.
So you're not going to find many Reeltime films there. They haven't got any of that stuff in stock there. I'd spend my money on that. I remember when I was at university, I found Reeltime's Vimeo page. Yeah. And you can for like £5 buy most of their back catalogue to watch and stream whenever you fancy. So I think I bought a couple of Mythmakers from them on there. I think I watched the Colin Baker one and the Peter Davison one, the Sylve one.
They've got new ones coming out, haven't they? They've got a Paul McGann one coming out.
Yeah. Amazing. Originally, it was supposed to premiere at the convention Dreamwatch 94.
Right.
But when they realised that they weren't going to be able to put it out on time, mainly because the BBC were at that time producing Lost in the Dark Dimension, they thought this is going to overshadow our production. Right. So they put the brakes on it for a bit. And also because the budget was kind of stuttering. Instead, they produced Shakedown.
The Sontaran thing.
In the space of 10 weeks from conception to premiere.
Wow. And that's written by Terence Dicks, isn't it?
Written by Terence Dicks. So in the space of 10 weeks, to find a replacement film to screen at this convention, they made Shakedown. It seems like such a small scale as well. Yeah. But I guess it is quite neatly explained with the influence of the Great Intelligence only being in a short span. Yeah. And I get that, so maybe the Doctor didn't need to get involved in this because they can deal with it. I've got bigger fish to fry.
I like to think that Sylvester McCoy's up in space in the tub. Yeah. See what's going on the scan and it's like, nah. That's not worth my night
I'm
time.
not getting involved in this. So yeah, a third of the money was fronted by Ian Levine.
Wow.
Marquez was supposed to score this,
Right.
but Ian Levine did instead.
Oh, right.
During the premiere, which was at another convention, I can't see it in front of me, he stormed out because they only used half the music that he composed for it. Which is quite remarkable considering it's quite dense with music.
Yeah.
Especially in the scenes where, you know, we were watching one bit with Travers and Vicky,
Victoria, yeah.
and there's there's a nice scene between them where they're talking about being older and the time they find themselves in and how the Great Intelligence has tricked them.
Yeah.
And it's like,
But the music's really weird. It's
The
like
music
sort of
underneath-
ominous and dark, and it's like, that doesn't suit
and it's
this
like
at all.
it's like when Murray Gold music would just litter scenes where it's like you don't need that music in it right now. You're just like you're trying to force an emotion onto me.
Yeah.
But in this one, it was just kind of like, have they got the right?
Yeah, it's very weird.
Is this bit very
and
strange.
then other bits, like during action sequences, the music was just sort of very low. There was nothing like. There's no oomph to it, you know?
Yeah.
And you were like, well...
But like we said, to be fair, there was some really nice callbacks in it.
There were some really good callbacks. So fair play to Ian Levine. I'm surprised that...
Ian Levine did it.
Yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Shame he's a cock. They received permission from the BBC to use Sarah Jane Smith, of course.
Right.
Also, I've got a note in here, which is something I picked up from the book. Nothing to do with this. Guess who Sophie Aldred dated briefly in the 90s?
The guy who was the presenter of Family Fortunes.
Les Dennis.
Les Dennis, yeah.
There we go. I'm surprised you knew that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what it says.
Absolutely. Victoria's first scene. Also, what he says. Boom.
Yeah.
It was Victoria's first scene in Tibet.
Yeah.
Was shot at the
On
London
location.
Dungeons.
I wasn't really. I was thinking when we were watching, I was like, where do they shot
That's quite an
this?
impressive set, isn't
That
it?
is
Yeah.
It's really good.
The VHS got into major high street stores, as I mentioned. Ian Levine attempted, obviously, as we mentioned, for people who don't know, Ian Levine tried to shoot extended scenes. That's not funny. Now, this is interesting. I mentioned when we were watching it that there was an opportunity for Downtime to become canon.
Yeah, now what the hell are you talking about?
Now, Gary Russell
Yes.
tried to get clips from Downtime to be featured in a flashback sequence in the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Whoa, what?
But the people who produced Downtime said no.
Why?
No idea.
What?
There's a direct story from Gary Russell in this book that they said, we want to do a flashback sequence, we want to use some clips from Downtime with the Brig and with Sarah Jane. And they went, no. Very weird.
That is really weird. Like,
I would have thought it would be the BBC that would be the first to go.
Yeah.
Strange.
That's bonkers. Yeah,
So it could have been canon.
My God. I mean, in some ways, I'm really glad that that didn't happen, because for me to think that this was canon, it's just nonsense.
A lot of people have a go at me for going, oh, why can't you just be nice and say it's canon? But just think, you could have had another Brig story that legitimately happened in the Doctor Who universe.
We could have done, but it isn't worth it.
No? You don't need to watch it, but it's just to know that it's there, that Downtime is legit.
But that's like saying... That's like... I'm trying to think of like a Doctor Who story.
Go on, try and think of an equivalent.
I don't know. I don't know. What really bad new series stories are there that I really can't stand?
In the Forest of the Night.
Yeah, for instance.
Which is...
Or like, oh Christ, those ones with bloody me. With Maisie Williams in. Ashilda, all that shit. You know, that's like you saying, oh, you know, it's there, but you just don't have to watch it.
You don't have to watch it.
I don't have to watch it, but I know. I've experienced it. It's just ingratiated into my soul.
Okay. It's really odd. Like, it's almost like two different things that have been glued together. Like, it tries to play it really straight, and then it does the uber hammy thing. I recognise him as well.
Yeah, and then he plays those in Batsy as hell. Big Finish.
Right. Okay. So, on the whole, Matthew.
Yeah.
What do you think of Downtime?
I think, as with Autumn 2, as a bit of...
I'm surprised you're comparing it already to Autumn 2.
Well, I said to you at the start, I consider all this BBV and real-time stuff is all cut from the same cloth, as far as I...
This is far and away superior. Just in like terms of production value to...
Is it really, though?
I think it is.
Really? It just feels the same old crap.
But I find it so much easier to sit through this compared
Really?
to Autumn, and I feel like that's not just down to the production or the script being better necessarily. I just got a better vibe off of this than Autumn. They all seem to be having much more fun, and I suppose it helps that you've got established characters and actors in it.
That is what this has going for it over the other one, for sure. Yeah, as a bit of nostalgic, well, it's not really nostalgic for me, but as a bit of fluff from the Wilderness years, it's fine. Would I ever, in my wildest dreams, try and put this into continuity with Doctor Who? No.
Okay.
And I know when we were watching it, I said to you, I can't even... Actually, I kind of wanted to. Before watching it today, I was like, I would really like to be able to think, oh yeah, this is actually a bit of Doctor Who. But I can't even gel the character of Kate Stewart in this with the character of Kate Stewart in the TV series.
But then we also said perhaps something's happened between this and... I mean, this is all wishful thinking and it's all fan philosophy and canonising or whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, there is wiggle room in a lot of this stuff to assume that something's happened between... Because that's what fans do. They like to knit things together to kind of fit their own continuity. But I get where you're coming from, which is unless you see it in established continuity, you can't take it as read, or you can't even assume that that's happened. This was met with a standing ovation when it was screened. For the first time.
Freaking hell, what were they... I mean, you know, I'm
not enjoying it. This is quite a way better than Autumn.
Yeah.
Right, so
what do you think though? What? Because you've asked me what I thought of this. What is your opinion? This was your birthday, Christmas present, so
it was my Christmas present from you. I really enjoyed watching it. I thought it was a really easy watch. I don't go into it expecting anything big. Just go into it and enjoy the fact that it's got Nick and Liz and, you know, Deborah and Jack Watling and all that lot in it, because it is worth it for the price of admission.
Yeah.
Just to have it. I'm glad I've got it.
Yeah.
And there's like a 70-minute behind the scenes feature.
I know. I'm fascinated.
Sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to watching that, and I really enjoyed watching it here and now.
Yeah.
Is it any good? I mean, it's not great, obviously. It's not great. It's very dogged by its budget, the time that it was made in. You know, it's a fan film at the end of the day. But I think for a fan film with, you know, by fan film standards, a huge budget, I think it does quite well at doing what it set out to do. It's just that it gets quite convoluted. Don't try and watch it and legitimately follow it like you would any other form of media, because it does jump around quite a lot. Yeah,
it's very difficult to get a grasp on what the hell is actually happening.
And don't expect a lot from it as a whole, but also from like the involvement of the Yetis.
Yeah.
Because they're just kind of foot soldiers that appear in the third act to get, you know, blown up by some useless unit soldiers. But do you know what? I had a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll watch it again. But I did enjoy it. I had a good time. So if we're going to give it a score...
Oh no, well, out of 10.
I'm trying to think what we might have given Autumn. I feel like it might have been like a 2 or a 3. I'm going to give this... but then I've got to compare it against Doctor Who episodes that I've given similar rankings. I think this is much better than Autumn. So I don't think I can get away by just giving it 1 point extra, you know? So I reckon I'm going to give it like a 5 or a 6.
Okay. Wow. Really?
5. I'll give it 5.5.
I would give it, I don't know, a 2.
Really? Oh no.
I just didn't like it. I think I just can't digest this sort of material.
Yeah.
I just can't digest it. Okay, we mentioned possibly watching the Air Zone solution. But
Okay.
But I can watch that knowing that this has nothing to do with Doctor Who, other than the fact that it's got.
Is it because it's sullying Doctor Who? Is that why you're not as fond of it?
It's just crap. I mean, I'm sure I'll watch the Airzone solution and think that's shite as well.
Yeah.
But the Airzone solution has the distinction of not being a Doctor Who product. You know, this is trying to be as close to Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing. It's trying to be Doctor Who, but it's never going to be Doctor Who.
But the references in it, we even quite like when the Briggs falling over and he says, you changed again.
Yeah.
That's quite a nice little bit. I think it's probably going to be the best fan film we watch, to be honest. Because we've still got the Airzone solution and Zygon left to go.
Crikey.
I mean, at least one of them was written by Mark Gatiss, so it's got that going for it.
Yeah,
But,
true.
I had a laugh. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed watching it. It's fun
It's a
to
really
watch.
easy watch,
Yeah.
and I would advise anyone who's interested in it to give it a go because it's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
It's a bit of crack, and it's.
We're going to need some crack.
we will just to recover from this to get ready for the next one. But let us know what you thought of it if you guys have seen it, especially kind of younger fans. If what you.
If some poor bugger bought you this for Christmas,
kick him out of your house immediately.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's alright. I enjoyed it.
So I've sullied you by buying you this and K9.
And do you know what I bought him when he gave me this? I bought him Ghostwatch and the Stone Tape in a 2-disc set.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Well, on that note, we're going to go and have a cry about that.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the future.
Hello. We are the Review of Death. And, we have an announcement to make.
So we're going to be at To the Moon in Bristol as part of We Are Cult's Bristol Meet on the 22nd of June, Saturday the 22nd of June 2019, and we're going to be talking about Doctor Who Season 26, which includes such episodes as
Battlefield, Ghostlight, Curse of Fenric, and Survival.
Veritable who's who of Doctor Who.
Yes.
So yes, if you want to come along, then check out all the event pages, which are available all over the internet: Facebook, Eventbrite, Twitter. Tickets are available now. They get them because they are in short supply. We've got the likes of
what are the guests have we got?
Rob Grant, co-creator of Red Dwarf, Stephen Volk, writer of Ghostwatch. Keep that all the way through.
Top of those, the rest of the point.
Oh yes. That's got to stay in. Bastard.
You feel like you're covered in cobwebs somehow.
Shite.
You've got what is this?
I don't know.
I don't know if it is cobwebs.
What is it? Fuck's sake.
It's like a perfect rectangle.
Oh, what? What is that? What is that, Matt? Fuck's sake. This is new as well. Okay, well, never mind. Come to our event. See you later. Bye. Oh, shit.